So welcome back everyone. In today's video we're gonna review another game between Anatoly Karpov and Garry Kasparov. This is the game 24 from Sevilla in 1987. Before we go to the game, let's see the article that is here. So this is from chessgames.com. I usually get my games from that site. Let's see what they have to say about this. So in 1987, the candidate cycle format was changed for the first time since 1965. A candidates tournament was played involving 12 qualifiers from 3 interzonals, plus 4 seeds. The top 4 qualifiers from this tournament advanced to a series of candidate matches. The winner of this 4-man knockout played a match against Anatoly Karpov, who was seeded directly into the candidates' finals, for the privilege of playing a World Championship match against Kasparov in 1987. After Karpov handily defeated Andrei Sokolov 7.5, 3.5 in the candidates' finals, the stage was set for the fourth confrontation between Karpov and Kasparov, this time to be held in Seville, Spain. The match took place from October 12 to December 18, 1987. The match was tied going into the 23rd game, when Karpov achieved a fine victory from the English opening, making the match score 12-11 in Karpov's favor. Kasparov needed a win in the final round to retain his title, and this is the time when we jump in this game. So let me set up a board in this time. So the board is set up, and let's review this absolutely magnificent game. This game was the game 24, sorry. So Kasparov needs a win to retain his world championship title. If he loses or even makes a draw, Anatoly Karpov becomes world champion once again. So Kasparov goes for c4, he plays the English, and we get very traditional lines. We get this variation here by Kasparov playing g3 right from the beginning. We get d5, we get b3, and after a few moves, we get bishop g2 castles and castles by Kasparov. b6, bishop b2, bishop b7, e3, knight b7, knight c3, e4, knight d2, and a5. So we get this position. This is very complex. So what Garry is doing is he's very risking here. The pawn on d5 is very stable. It's protected with the pawn on e6 and also the bishop. Knight jumping in can create threats. So, it is very hard for Garry to actually utilize this, but Kasparov is also trying to push, which can be bad for Karpov, and we will see why. Now, Garry with d3 kicks out the knight. Now, Karpov tries to solve his problems by using tactical methods. He plays bishop to f6. Let's say if you take here, bishop takes b2 is the idea here. It attacks the rook, so it doesn't really work. So you have to play some sort of line that defends the bishop or attacks the bishop. And now Kasparov finds the great move, which is queen c2. Queen c2 protects the bishop and also protects the pawn on d3, so it can be solidified more. We get bishop takes b2 anyways by Karpov. We get queen takes b2, knight goes back to d6, and now we take. Now c pawn takes the d pawn. Now Kasparov's idea is to exchange the pawn on the sides of this, open up the line for the rook, and also to have two central pawns. But after bishop takes and move d4, here Karpov can just simply play c5, lashing out this move and attack and create the tension in this line of attack. So then Kasparov plays a very good move, rook d1. Doesn't going on full out attack and doesn't play rook c1. He plays rook fd1, protecting this pawn and having that advantage on this stack that can be attacked very easily. Look at this, Karpov made that his pieces are so stacked up. If you take and exchange here, and if you just play some sort of knight going to h4 and then play taking the bishop, or they're just playing e4, you're gonna open up the position and your rook will be dominating. So very nice move by Kasparov, but Karpov isn't going to end up losing this game very easily. He plays rook c8, knight f4, bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, queen e7, rook ac1, rook fd8. These players are just lashing out. They're going and going and going and going. We get another d takes c5, we get knight takes c5, we get pawn to b4, we get a takes b4, and now the Garry Kasparov with amazing queen takes b4. He used this queen to get another threat. His idea was amazing. His idea of pushing the pawns, he creates activity, and then he plays a3. And after Karpov comes to f5, we get that Karpov is not a big, is not a very, isn't going to give up very soon, because Karpov is trying. Karpov is attacking. Karpov is going and going and going, and Kasparov has to find some way to eliminate him. We get rook b1, and now rook takes d1, and now we get like Karpov hasn't made any mistakes. The accuracy in this game between these two players are just astonishing. These players are playing in a very high accuracy up until this point, but everything can change. Knight d3, h6, rook c1, knight to e7 from Karpov. Very solidifying, very interesting move. We know that these players aren't going to give up very soon. This game is going to go forever. The pushing, the pawns, the knights jumping in. Now another mistake. Knight takes f4 by Karpov is a very big mistake, but Garry has to find one move and one move only. Every other move that can be played loses or gets a draw. Here the idea can be to play bishop to c6. Engine says that bishop to c6 is an idea, and you put the bishop here to get to attack the knight, and also to create the bishop between this rook, and you want to sort of trade the rooks. Next idea is to jump in probably with the knight, or play like queen to b3, but this move isn't very good. Okay, another idea is to play knight c6. Knight c6 is also a good move, but it doesn't win the game. It isn't a winning move. The winning move is rook takes c8 in the Kasparov with the brilliant. Find this move, exchanging the rooks, leaving his queen and knight and bishop against his queen and two knights. This is what Kasparov said. His pieces were dangerously uncoordinated and his king was vulnerable. This is what Kasparov said about this move. So we get knight takes c8, and now after Kasparov misses this idea and plays rook queen d1. Here queen b5 just wins the game right on the spot. Queen b5 attacks the knight here, but it is defended, but knight coming to c6, and when the queen moves, just absolutely unleashing your power, just loses everything. But we get queen d1, knight to e7, which is another blunder. Kasparov plays the best move, and now the chase begins. Now Karpov, with amazing defending, still tries to do something, but Kasparov goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. We get the very long, stretching endgame, and now Kasparov trying to break through, but Karpov defending relentlessly, and we get e5, disallowing the queen from going on the square, and also understanding the situation that this line is very defended by the queen here, and the pieces are tangled. Kasparov said that these pieces are very strangely uncoordinated. Kasparov now knows that he's winning. Queen a5, another big mistake by Karpov, and Kasparov immediately punishes his opponent, playing a very good bishop to e8, queen c5, queen f7 check, king h8. We get bishop to a4, queen d5, king h2, queen c5, trying to get something. Karpov tries, and here in this position, after king g2, game ends. No matter what you do, and give a check on queen on d5 or do something like that, this game is over. Queen d5 check just leads to this is getting blocked, and you're just lost. No matter what you do here, like if you just do this very simple move, bishop to f3, and yeah, your position is going to fall apart. This is very bad for you, and Kasparov, with these absolutely magnificent variations and it is absolutely magnificent attack, retains his world championship title. The match score after that game, I think, was I'm gonna let you see this. See here, after that brilliant game between these two players. So these players played this, and in the 24th game the score was 12-12. These players in 24 games were so equal at the time on strength. They ended the game 12-12, and Garry retained his world championship title. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.